Welcome to the Pocatello Business Podcast, the only Pocatello podcast focused on providing profits for Pocatello people. If you love our town and love small business, you are in the right place. We interview local legends, learn business, and have way too much fun doing it. You're listening to the Pocatello Business Podcast with your friend, host, all-around great guy, and owner of New Clean Commercial Cleaning, Spencer Ward.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pocatello Business Podcast. You may recognize this gal that's to my right. I don't know what you're seeing. You probably it's on the right-hand side. Helen Misner. She was on our episode a couple months ago. You probably towards one of the beginning episodes, Helen. And today she's joined with her lovely daughter, Julie Misner. And they are working hard to bring some real estate to everyone here in Pocatello when they can find listings because they go so fast. But welcome you two to the episode today and to the show.
Thank you.
Perfect. Before we get going, I do want to take a sponsorship time out that we are sponsored by Dell's Outdoor Advertising. These guys are amazing to work with. They're great to deal with. They're helpful and they're creative to help you come up with the best slogan and best image for your billboards. Give Rob a call at 232-6886. And if you tell him you heard about us on the podcast, they'll give you your first month for free or your installation for free with a 3-month deal on your billboard.
Thanks.
So Helen and Julie, man, it's crazy out there right now. Everyone wants real estate. There's not enough real estate. What are you seeing right now? Is it been different from what our last episode or?
No.
Same thing.
No, it's still crazy. In fact, I think there's fewer houses. So a couple days ago, somebody asked me how many listings we had, and I pulled up 65. That meant land, townhouses, mobiles, if there's even a mobile out there,
Wow.
and single family, only 65. And with the shortage of supply and demand, you have buyers who are fighting over properties and just I want it now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Are you still getting, so you get a, let's just walk through it, I guess. You say you hypothetically, we can just go through imaginary listing and just say, hey, we got this listing from when you posted on the MLS, or does it even get to the MLS?
No, it better get to the MLS. If it's not getting to the MLS, then they're not doing justice for their seller.
Okay.
It needs to get to the MLS so that it's out to every real estate agent, and it gets out there to all the third-party IDX so that it gets fair market value for the seller. It needs to get out. The people says it doesn't make it to the MLS, I don't feel it's done a good justice for their sellers. Okay, but let's say it's gone out there for the MLS. I just had a listing where we put it on the market. Within 3 hours of putting on the market, I already had 4 offers.
Wow.
The seller said, make it stop. I'll be in to pick one.
Is insane. 3 hours.
I could have let it go. He said, make it stop. And 2 of those were cash offers.
Oh my goodness. So
yeah.
No contingencies, just here it is.
No. And it was basically, I consider that one a fixer-upper. It wasn't a lot of fixing up, but it was still a fixer-upper. And it said, let's go.
And this is happening all over the place within Pocatello and Chubbuck. It's just,
yep.
You can't keep them on the shelf. They're just flying.
Yeah. Now, the buyers aren't stupid either, though. If you put it on the market and you put it for over what it is, they're going to look at you and go, oh, you're an idiot. They're not dumb.
Sure.
So sellers, if you think you're going to say, okay, the buyers are going to buy anything, that's not going to happen. We had one seller who said, my house is worth X. And we looked at him and says, no, it's not. He goes, I don't care. I'll wait till California comes and buys it. We barely got it appraised for what we listed it at by the hair of our chinny chin chin.
Wow.
But he didn't care. He says, I'll stay here for a year if I have to.
Wow.
But he was not totally unrealistic. If he was way unrealistic, then we would say goodbye.
Yeah.
Sometimes
we have to fire customers.
Well, I have fired people before.
Yeah, that's true. So what would you tell people out there that are looking to sell or looking to buy? What are some of the things that you would recommend during this craziness?
If you're looking to buy, make sure you have your ducks in a row. If you're getting a loan, make sure you have a good reputable lender. And the reason I say that is there's some people out there, they're sellers, they've been educated. They know if this lender is going to be workable or not. And so you want to make sure you have a good letter from that lender saying you're good to go. Because if you're going to put an offer in with a competing offer and you don't have a letter to go with it, he's not going to look at that. He's going to look at something else. So make sure you're ready to go. Don't go looking without having your ducks in a row.
Yep. Julie, what about you? Is there anything else you would say?
I think for the seller's part of it, what would you tell a seller?
Oh, for a seller, I mean, I don't know.
I think for the seller's part of it, have your house ready. Don't think you can just sell it with a bunch of trash sitting in it. Make sure that your house is ready.
Yeah, if you want to get top dollar, you have to make sure that you present your house the right way, because buyers out there, they're looking for turnkey. I mean, we did have one that was a fixer-upper, and we did advertise it as that, which is investors like that. But most people have homes that aren't considered fixer-uppers. And so if that's the case, you need to make sure that your house looks as much like a turnkey home, or some place where a buyer can come in and immediately
feel like it's home.
Yeah, I feel like it's home. They don't have to do a ton of repairs to it.
Or smell like it's home and not stinky.
Right. And curb appeal is a big thing too. You know, a lot of sellers don't think about it, and they just kind of let their lawn go because they're like, oh, I'm going to sell it. Someone else can take care of my lawn. You know, it's not adding any value or anything. But
we had one where the seller let the lawn go, and it took longer to sell because they just feel like they didn't want to waste the water.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, but we don't know what we're doing, so listen to us.
So pick up the trash around your home, get the weeds off of that area, and
it's not that much work. It's really not. If we say, you know, I know you love your treasures, but put a few of them in storage, we really mean it. And the only reason being is because when people are coming to look at your home, they want to figure if their treasures are going to fit in your home.
Yeah.
So the less treasures you have, the better off it is, because they're thinking, well, if you have treasures, it's going to fit. I think my treasures will fit in your home.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Nobody would make it in my house right now. It's so cluttered. But I'm living in my home. There's a difference.
Well, we just got done with a remodel, and you know, Justin Downs helped us out with that, and our house looks amazing. But that brought me to the next thing I want to talk to you guys about. What are some improvements if someone's trying to sell, they're trying to get top dollar? Where, if they're saying, hey, I've got this contractor, I've got X amount of money, where would you tell them to put that money in their home?
Kitchens and bathrooms. Women always like kitchens and bathrooms. Men like garages.
That's true.
It's so true. The women spend a lot of time in the kitchen, you know, and they want their bathrooms nice because they can figure how to work the others around. And the men are looking, so do I have space in the room for the garage? That's where you want to put it. You know, it's easy fix to put paint on a wall, and it's easy to take and put some carpet in. Baseboards are expensive. Baseboard trims are always expensive, so don't think you're going to rip out your baseboards and put in new baseboards, because I'm going to tell you, don't do it, because that stuff is expensive.
Which I just...
yeah, see, and then you can see the cost. And Justin breaks down a cost for you, so you know what your breakdown is.
Very good. I would recommend him.
But for your kitchen, you need to look at your kitchen. Are your cabinets salable? Are they ones that you can just reface? Are they ones that you can just change the hardware and make it pop? Are they ones that you can just paint? You know, you have to look, or is it just maybe take the countertops off and put a countertop and a sink in? Will it make it pop? I mean, sometimes you can use the old stuff and make it look good. If you want a completely new remodel, you're doing it for yourself, because you're putting too much money into the home and you're not going to get that out.
Yeah, well, especially when you know you're going to sell, don't do a full remodel. Yeah, because
you know,
I used to be in commercial real estate. We said, hey, make this a blank slate so people can
absolutely opposite, because on commercial they come in and do their own thing. But it's tenant improvements, it has to be a blank slate. Yep. When you want a turnkey, you need to see what improvements. I mean, doesn't mean change out doors, doesn't mean change out lights. You just do what I tell you to do, and we're going to be just fine.
And when you're doing improvements, I think too many people think, oh, countertops, that's going to cost me so much money. No, guys, there's options out there. You can do remnant pieces. I had Chad from Olive Branch Countertops on the show, and he was great to work with. He helped us with all of our stuff. But yeah, it's not as expensive as people think, and they do a great job. So.
Well, and you can also take off the old countertop, not the countertop itself, but that mica stuff, whatever's on it. And I've done it. If I can do it, you can do it. And you can put down some stuff that's really nice. I've done it in a house before. I don't want to do it in my house. I'll wait till my house falls down before I do it. I'm living here.
That's perfect. No, it's interesting because I think people get held up. They're like, oh, I want to get best price for my house, but at the same time, they don't want to do any kind of money in there to get that top dollar, so.
No. Well, and I'll come in and tell them what it's going to be like if you leave it the way it is, or if you put this in it. If they start talking, I know they're going to put too much in. I'm like, just leave it alone, walk away. Let's sell it the way it is. And that was the case with the one that we sold. I knew he was going to take forever. I've known this man for a long time. I was like, you need to sell this now. I basically just booted him out of his house so I could sell his house. But there's a few things that you can change and do. And then after you're done, you're going to go, gee, we shouldn't have done this. We should have done this for ourselves years ago. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too. Like, we were remodeling. People were like, oh, we're waiting until we retire to remodel our house. I'm like, why? Enjoy it now. Like, I don't understand it. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's good advice for people. So.
Yeah. My problem is at first is I don't want to spend the money. Second is I don't want the clutter. Third, I don't want to listen to my husband. I'm a real estate agent, so I know all this.
I just stepped out of it. And I told my wife, I said, you make all the decisions because I don't want any guff from you when things go wrong or you don't like something, because I didn't make any of the decisions. So I just stepped out.
Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? That's a smart man. That is really a smart man.
Yep. And it worked out perfectly for me. I had one or two requests on some minor things, but other than that, I kept out of it. It worked great. So. Yep.
So, and make sure if you're going to do a remodel or if you're going to build, make sure you get a builder that's going to listen to you. One that's going to listen to how you want your kitchen done, how you want your bathroom done, not one who just says, here's the cabinets, this is what we're going to put in. Because you know the layout of how your kitchen is. And if it's a good builder, they're going to listen to you and say, okay, I get this. You need these drawers, or you need this spice thing, or you need this pull-out, or what about this area? And get one that's going to listen to you. Because there's some out there that listen to you and some out there that'll just say, okay, this is what you get.
Yep, exactly. And we had Crystal Cabinets come in and do our cabinets, and they came in, they listened to, not me, my wife, and they made everything the way it should be, and it looks beautiful. So you need people that want to listen and just don't have a cookie cutter way of doing things and throwing stuff up.
And if you're not sure, you guys are going to do a remodel and you're not sure how to do it or something, call me.
Yep.
Don't think that you know what you're doing because somebody said, oh, I can just put drywall up for, the shower. No, you have to have things called green board, concrete board, stuff like this. I'll get you in touch with the right people, or I'm going to tell you you're doing it right or wrong. Please. I mean, it's just worth the time for you, everything else. Now, Mr. Buyer, if you're going to go out and right now with everything and you're fighting over properties, there are people who are putting in offers that are saying, we'll take it as is. And, they're not doing a home inspection. I mean, you're okay if you're a contractor, you're okay if you're going to get into something, but if you're doing it because you're afraid you're never going to get a house, find some way to protect yourself. Buy a home warranty. Make sure you have somebody look at it before you do it. Those are the biggest things, because I am just so worried that everybody's out there fighting over it. They're going to get in and go, what the hell did I just do?
Yep, exactly.
So our contracts are set up any way we can to protect you, but if you keep telling me no, I'm just going to sit there and look at you like, you sure?
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't get this house, I can find you another one.
You hired me for a reason, so start listening to me.
Yeah. Oh, Spencer, you did it right.
No, it's true. It's true. And, back on the DIY people, DIY is fine, but sometimes people take it too far. When we were buying a house 4 years ago, we had one tied up, and then we found out that a third of the house was added on by the owner, and nothing was up to code. And nothing.
Oh, I think I know that house.
Yeah, it was just like, oh my gosh, like it was a beautiful area, great acreage, and we ended up it fell through just because it was. Yeah. You can't.
Oh, I had a lady.
Find your way to success, people.
Yeah. I had a lady mad at me because she put an offer on a house, and when we did the inspection, found out the add-on was not on a foundation, was not on pillars.
Oh my goodness.
I said, you're not buying this house. She goes, oh, but it's next to grandma. I says, you're not buying this house.
Yeah.
And her fiance says, she was mad at me for a good 3 months. Then she came back to me. Now she still loves me and she's with me, but
yep.
And she's richer for it because it didn't cost her $30,000 to put a foundation underneath that house.
That's exactly right. So I'm not saying don't DIY. I don't want a bunch of people calling me.
Oh
and
no,
sending me hate
definitely,
emails saying,
definitely you can DIY. Just DIY it right. If you're not sure, call me. I'll get you in touch with the right people, or if I know it, I'll tell you.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, perfect. Is there any other advice before we come to the conclusion of our episode? You would let buyers or sellers know, or even investors?
The investors out here are pretty savvy. Most of them that I've worked with are pretty savvy. And I've only had one investor that didn't listen to me. He still owns the house. So he's going to live in that house for 30 years. He's not selling it.
Oh, boy.
But majority of them are pretty savvy about it. If you're a first-time investor and you've got a real estate agent, oh, my gosh, please listen to that real estate agent. They know what they're doing. Don't put too much money into it, or you're going to lose any equity that you have in there. Sellers, don't think that you're all going to know everything and put it on the market for what you think it is. We have the facts. We'll show you the facts. We have an appraiser that's in our office. I talk to him constantly. He even scratches his head and tells me, yeah, the market's changing, Helen. I don't know what to do. I'm sometimes just throw the paper. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. So when things change so drastically as they are, I have close communication with many people because it's just crazy out there.
Yep.
And buyers, don't always do it with your heart. Really think it out. Is this something you can live with, something you can do? Is this the whole thing? Because if it's not there now, I can find you another one. That's
good. That's good stuff to think of.
Yeah. Now we have a tag team. So if I'm not available, Julia's available, and she's right there. You know, I've mentored her. I went away for 3 weeks, come back. She told me to go away again. So I think I've done a good job helping her out.
That's exactly when you know you did a good job when they don't even need you anymore. So that's good.
I know. The other day I went to go make a phone call. She was already done. What? Dang, girl.
Hey, you better hold her tight, because I might keep her. I might try to steal her from you if she's that good. So
yeah, I'll come slap your hands, buddy.
Well, perfect. Well, before we end, I need to tell everyone about one more sponsor. It's called Pack and Go. These guys help moving and helping me store my furniture while we remodeled. A breeze. They bring a pod. They have a professional driver. They come and bring a pod right to your house. It's ground level. There's no crazy inclines with those metal ramps that you're going to slip on and bust your shins on. You put everything into it and you call them up whenever you get everything loaded. They come and professionally load it back up. They store it for you if you need it stored, or they move it to your next location. And it's so easy. So if you need something like this and you need some help with your storage or you're moving, call Darren at 208-339-2229. And if you need it, you mentioned the podcast, they will give you your first month for free if you are requesting at least a 3-month rental or storage. So these guys are great to deal with. I definitely recommend them. So at the end of our every episode so far, guys, we've always asked where your favorite local restaurants are in Pocatello or Chubbuck. So we'll start with Julia, and then we'll move on to Helen.
You know, this one kind of came to surprise me, but I like the Healthier Place down in Old Town. You go in and it doesn't really seem like, I mean, it's local. It's
called the Healthier Place?
It's called the Healthier Place.
Oh.
And they have gluten-free options, dairy-free options. I mean, I'm not one that has any kind of allergy, but I was introduced to it by someone who did, and I've just enjoyed it. They have really good food.
Cool. First time that's been mentioned. That's good.
Oh, I'm going back to Red Lobster.
Oh, yeah.
I think I have a craving for fish, and I can't go to Maine right now, so Red Lobster.
That's right. That's right. You know, I love the all-you-can-eat shrimp, and I love those biscuits. So.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. So people are looking to buy or sell or invest. How do they get a hold of you guys to make that happen?
You can call us on a direct line at 208-234-7600. You can always Google me. My phone number will come up no matter what. You can reach Julie on her cell at 208-221-1310. Me on my cell at 208-604-3004. So any of those numbers.
Perfect. Anything I didn't ask that I should have?
No, except for everybody have a great Thanksgiving.
Perfect. Yeah.
And be safe out there. Everybody be safe out there.
That's right. That's right. So thank you both for being on the show again today. Definitely have you on again in the future. And you guys have a wonderful holiday and keep selling those homes.
Okay.
Congratulations on spending a couple minutes getting just a little bit smarter, having some fun, and supporting the Pocatello business community. If you are feeling the love, make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you are.